size, style bat?
I don't know. I haven't really even looked at like the length and weight and stuff yet. I'm assuming usually bats are like 33 to 34 inches, 30 and a half to 31 and a half ounces. So probably in there somewhere, but to be honest, I really didn't look.
Are you going to let him hear the end of it that you hit a home run with this bat before he did?
That's rude.
Sorry.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to MartyTimeTV and the Section 1904 podcast. I am Marty Caswell. That, I think, is part of Darren Smith. We are brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino with the Players Place. All right, Darren, you got me. I'm sorry. You got me for a second because your virtual background cut off part of your head.
Oh.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing right now?
Huh? Marty just asked if I was wearing a beret. No, not a beret. I don't know. I think you can call it a peaky hat or
Peaky hat. Okay.
A newspaper boy cap, or there's all sorts of different terms for it. So I wasn't real thrilled with where the hair was heading today. So I just decided I was going to cover it up just so I can get on here and get us going on Marty Time Television, because it's very important to me how I appear on Marty Time TV. As you know, I have incredible vanity. I'm always very uncomfortable whenever it is that I'm on camera, whether it's here sitting in this chair or invited on the NBC7 or any other camera related opportunity. So I just decided this would be better than people looking at my hair today, or me being distracted by my own hair as well.
I was on foul territory this morning with Scott Braun and AJ Brzezinski, and I wore a hat for my appearance because I was also vanity issues and my hair looked terrible. But here on this channel, Darren, I'm more comfortable with you. I don't think you're going to make fun of my attire or my hair. So I'm just disaster, a ponytail. It is what it is. All right.
Yeah. And I'm sort of out of the baseball cap phase of my life. So if it's not a bucket hat, it's probably one of these kind of hats. There's a company called, I think, Boston Scally that I've ordered some caps from. So from time to time, I'll pop those out. So I'm with you on that. I just, and this is not working at all for the people that are consuming this on the audio only version.
Right.
If you're listening via Section 1904 on Apple or on Spotify or off the Substack app. So just bear with us. You'll have to use a little imagination, a little bit of theater of the mind. So you were on foul territory, huh? So you just continue after you threw Derek Togerson under the bus.
I did
just
not.
continue to run him over and over again. Just to talk about this viral moment with Nick Castellanos from Sunday, huh?
No, wait a second. I did not throw him under the bus. You just did. I purposely did not mention who that was because we all have those moments, Darren, with various players in the clubhouse. Usually it's me with Manny Machado or anybody, or AC with Manny Machado or AJ Caswell with Manny Machado, but I did not throw him under the bus. I didn't mention his name. I don't think he's on social media. So if you were, I wouldn't have tagged him. Just, people are like, who is that? You are the one that mentioned that was Derek Torgerson, who of NBC, Donate Trips host. You threw him under the bus, but hey, all right, we'll go ahead and start.
I think people figured out who it was, but I did feel
didn't.
bad while I was scrolling through social media because you mentioned AC. Everybody's like, God, AC's such an idiot. How come he keeps asking these stupid questions? And then I saw Julian Delgado get lumped into this. I'm like, whoa. There's a lot of innocent bystanders here who are getting sucked into this moment of what it was that happened post game with Nick Castellanos and somebody from the scrum. I felt bad that other people, the innocents, like there was some civilian casualties here where it wasn't necessarily the people who were even there, people trying to enjoy a Sunday, and they're getting tagged in different social media posts. And then it gets picked up by some of the aggregators. You're like, oh God, here it goes, talking baseball and some of these other accounts. Well, who even knows where these accounts come from? They start picking it up, and there you are this morning. I'm sure this is the reason why you got invited to go on foul territory and to talk about what it was that happened with the Pods.
No one even they didn't ask about Nick Castellanos. They didn't even ask about that. They're asking more about the Padres offense and what's going on, and Tatis having 0 home runs, right? And the Padres and what.
But his bat has a home run.
His bat has a home run, but his bat does have a home run. So, or does Castellanos keep that bat? If you borrow a bat from somebody and you hit a home run, don't you just inherit the bat? Boy,
is that how that works? Is it like a dragon from Game of Thrones where it just becomes yours now because you're the one that decided that you're going to take the dragon for the ride?
It's as if Tatis needed any more pressure, and he's feeling the pressure on. Listen, our last show, Darren, on Fire Territory, we're talking about the private BP session that Manny Machado and Tatis had, where the media wasn't allowed to go ahead and take any pictures or video, although there were plenty of fans there on the field. Just those two and Steven Souza. But imagine the pressure where, just like that, player breaks his bat, borrows yours, and hits a game-tying home run.
Yeah. Honestly, like it really is. It's very funny. If you allow yourself not to take it too seriously, it is funny. Like there is an objectively funny angle to this, don't you think? Because especially, Marty, when I think last week we spent a lot of time talking about some of the online theories as to why it is that Fernando Tatis Jr. is not hitting home runs.
Right, his hair.
I've seen a lot of people point about his lower body or his swing load or his batting glove. So I think we can scratch, maybe swinging the wrong bat. Maybe we can scratch that from the list of potential causes for what it is that has resulted in Fernando Tatis Jr. not having any. So we know it's not the equipment, or at least it's not the baseball bat. It's not that, because that bat hit a home run, and an important home run at that.
Very important home run. And listen, sometimes you mentally compose. Like, I know all the writers, right? I'm sitting next to AJ Caswell, all the Dennis Lynn's across the way, your boy AC's out in front. Everyone has their story written, right? Because Padres offense is dead yet again. At that point, the story of this weekend was going to be they had lost 3 out of 4, rock bottom, 5 hits. They had scored, I think I had written it down, like 12 runs in 4. No, wasn't it 12 runs in 4 games? They had 6. They were on the verge of being shut out.
They had 8 in the 4 games against the Cardinals.
Okay, they were on the verge of being shut out for the second time at home on a total of like 12 hits. Just absolute rock bottom for this offense. But then that home run kind of changes everything. But Darren, I've covered this Padres team forever. I've covered plenty of, walk-off home runs. That was a muted celebration. It was a walk-off sacrifice fly, the most exciting play in baseball. Mm-hmm. That clubhouse, maybe it's because they were packing up and they're getting ready to go ahead and pack their bags and go to Milwaukee and then Seattle. That was a really muted clubhouse. So I don't think it wasn't the normal jubilation that you'd associate with just winning a game. These guys they're feeling that pressure offensively because, man, the numbers are ugly. It's not just for Fernando. He gets all the attention because we look at home runs and we like big round numbers, right? But as a collective group, man, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Can't keep talking. I mean, I just can't keep repeating the same numbers that have been repeated everywhere else because you can find it if you're searching for it. And we've talked about it. They're bottom third in just about every offensive category. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to turn around. I don't. But talking at least, like you said, you were set and game stories are being written. And the story was going to be, wow, this anemic offense, right? Now, if you're going to split a 4-game series, I think you probably would prefer to win the last 2 because then you feel like, we've got a little momentum. We're going into Milwaukee and Seattle and feeling okay. Probably the way, when you split a 4-game series, losing the last 2, you feel sort of shitty. So, this is better. This is better. But, I also think there's another way of looking at it. I think you're right. I mean, I think we can look and say, well, the Padres are 24-16 and they're tied with the Dodgers. Top the NOS standings for those that care about such things on March 11th. Just to point out what is factually accurate. They have, Marty, for the run differential crowd, they have a +3 run differential. The team that they're tied on top of the NL West standings with, the LA Dodgers, have a +69 run differential. And yes, because I thought we were doing Friar Territory today, I did a deep dive on run differential for division leaders. And there's a team in the Central, the Cleveland Guardians, that are... Anyway, the Padres are playing above what their Pythagorean is. And some of that, I think, has to do with their bullpen. I know it's had some rough stretches, some bumpy patches, but, it still is a bullpen that is top 10 in a lot of different categories. Yep. And it's also a bullpen that has 11 wins. And, we can all sit and say the same thing, right? About wins and losses, not necessarily a pitcher statistic. I get it. But what it's telling you, I think, with the 4 walk-offs that the Padres have had, Marty, which is second most in all of baseball, Cubs somehow have 6 walk-offs. Kind of crazy. So it tells you, that the Padres do feel like no matter what their numbers say, offensively 1 through 9, first inning through ninth inning, seventh inning through ninth inning, right? All the stuff gets so like there's so much information. And you could really sort of spin however you want, but let us hang around a little bit and we got a chance. Yep. And a guy like a Nick Castellanos, I thought that was really a significant moment for him. Again, if you're looking at it in its entirety and you're thinking, I don't know off the top of my head, Marty, I'd be surprised if he's batting 200. I think he's somewhere right about there. I don't have it in front of me, but I think with this role, it's probably not going to be about what numbers necessarily, because if he had better numbers, he'd be a starter.
Right.
But for this role, right? You told me that Mark Sweeney was in the press box this past weekend. He's now a broadcaster with the St. Louis Cardinals. And he was one of the really, truly, like he was one of the
elite pinch hitters.
Elite pinch hitters of all time.
He was.
But if you go back and look at Mark's numbers, you're going to look and you're going to find a guy, I'm guessing, who's, probably less than 250, somewhere in that range. Again, I'm just sort of guessing at this stuff. The guy with the most pinch hit home runs of all time is Matt Stairs. Not a great, like not
former Padres hitting coach, one of many.
Right. Yeah. But those guys aren't necessarily like at their stages of their careers where they turn to this role. And this role, I think, is harder than it's ever been because you don't know when you're going to get your opportunities. Guys like Mark Sweeney and Matt Stairs, who played in the National League, they knew they were going to get opportunities because the pitchers were still hitting. So they knew there would be double switches. They knew there was going to be opportunity when their starting pitcher came out of the game that they were going to get pinch hit. Now with their, they're just being this universal DH. It's all on the manager to decide when he's going to put a pinch hitter in. So that job's never been harder. It's never been harder. But it's about the moment. It's not about the overall statistics. It's about the moment. And Nick Castellanos in that role on Sunday, falling 0-2, 9 pitch at bat, hitting the home run. I know we're joking about the bat and Tatis' bat, et cetera, but that's a moment. That's why you got him. He won you a game yesterday. He wins you a game by hitting the game-tying home run. I know it wasn't a pinch hit because he had a previous bat, but he comes into the game as a reserve. And he talked a little bit about how hard that role is. And it might be nothing. He might not get another hit this season. But as he's explained it post-game to you guys, he's sort of like, it's hard. Like this is harder than, but you're asking him to do exactly that. You're asking him to play this role. And, he didn't panic. He didn't say, all right, this game's over. Let's just get out of here. I'm 0-2. I'm facing this stud for the St. Louis Cardinals. This thing's done. It's done. Let's get out of here. Half my teammates are probably showered, ready to go. It's like, no, man, I'm battling. I'm going to battle. And he did. And he hits this home run. And, he talked a little bit about that role, about the role of being a pinch hitter. And again, it's not about overall numbers. I know the overall numbers aren't going to impress anybody at all. But
190, I think 191, 192.
Okay, so, again, and like, I wouldn't view that necessarily. I think you're saying, can we bring a guy into this situation who can win? It's just a handful of games that might be the difference between being in the playoffs or not being in the playoffs. And with 4 walk-off wins, Marty, like again, that's not nothing through your first 40 games. That's that's 4 of your 24 wins. That's, I don't know what the math is. That's not nothing, and so. I think that's pretty much what you wanted out of him. You're not going to get an all-star out of Nick Castellanos at this point of his career. You're asking him to play a role and to create a couple of moments, and he gave you one. And like that, I don't know. I felt like that was something.
Are you saying that for Nick Castellanos, as he evolves into more of a platoon player, pinch hitter, that was a turning point in his career? Because again, the conversation with him,
those are your words.
Turning point. But he had that moment. But he had a huge moment for the Padres.
And you're asking for a handful of those throughout a season from a guy like that at this point, right? I'm guessing, I don't know. Maybe the industry was down on Nick Castellanos. Maybe he didn't have any opportunities to go be a starter somewhere else.
Yeah.
But he wanted to accept a role that was different than every other role that he had played in his career. And for a game, it paid off. Like it paid off against a really good pitcher.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, I'm thinking, what the thought process is when you bring a guy like that into this situation. So again, 4 walk-offs this year, Marty, that's the second most in baseball. Again, so, the bullpen kind of keeps you around, keeps you believing that somebody's got an opportunity to pop one or do something late in these games. And it's paid off a handful of times. So that's not too terrible for them.
I know we're talking about the Padres run differential only being +3 and the Dodgers are just, of course it's much bigger than that in the West. I think every other team in the National League West is like negative 3,000 or something like that. But what was my train of thought on the run differential? Oh, I think maybe it was your boy AC, or maybe it was AJ Caswell or Dennis Lynn talking about the Padres run differential, though, in the later innings, like the best in baseball, 7 through 9. So for whatever reason, there is a bit of an element of a clutch factor for this Padres team later in games. It may not be good for the minds, the stomachs of the Padres fans and the stress that it causes, but the team has shown a knack to come back when the game is on the line. And Darren, that is a trait that you do want to see in playoff teams. We've covered plenty of Padres teams in the past where they didn't have these signature wins. And the Padres here on May 11th have provided more than a few of those.
Yeah. I don't know how the Cubs have done it. The Cubs, I was surprised when I was scrolling literally through every team on Baseball Reference today. Because hard to believe, Marty, that nowhere can you find a stat column that'll tell you how many walk-off wins each team has. But the Cubs have 6 of them so far. Wow. And then the Padres 4, and then everybody else 3, 2. There's a lot of teams that have 0. The Brewers, who the Padres are going to face starting tomorrow, they just got their first of the year.
Who just swept the Yankees? That Brewers team?
Did they? Okay. Yeah, they just got their first walk-off win of the year yesterday.
Wow.
So, again, 4 is not like in what's expected to be a pretty competitive race. The NL West, I'm not sure. Not ready to talk about that yet. But, for a wild card spot, these are wins that might matter. So, you just sort of tuck them away, or they might mean nothing. And this is just getting through a show on a Monday. That's the thing about the sport. Like, you have to kind of wait and see. But in terms of bringing a guy in who you're asking to do a very specific role, like, he delivered there, and he helped you win this baseball game, and helped you avoid losing 3 out of 4 at home to the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, which maybe or maybe not. Maybe it's a totally irrelevant moment in time, and people who went to the game had fun, and they'll remember it, and good for them.
I don't think it's irrelevant. And I thought what Craig Stammen had to say after the game about Nick Castellanos' role and not having to worry about his spot in the roster. Like, I do. That's a thing. It's easy for us, for fans, to look at the numbers and say, all right, when so-and-so comes back, this guy he's out of here, right? I wonder if you're Nick, how much pressure on him to go ahead and deliver, show something for the Padres. Listen, is he a great defensive outfielder? No, he's not. He's not at this point. I mean, that was part of the second guessing on Craig Stammen, I think, from Thursday, right? Is he a great first baseman? No. So the Padres need him to have these moments, right? You're not going to deliver all the time as a pinch hitter or as a utility player, and it's going to be hard for him to play sparingly. But I do wonder if Stammen had said to him, listen, you don't have to worry about, you don't need to hit 250 to have your spot on this roster. We know what your value is going to be. And when it comes playoff time, you need guys with your experience factor. You need veterans like Castellanos who know what that moment's like. So I do wonder if it kind of eases the burden off him. If Stammen just, you don't have to worry about your numbers. Don't look at your line. For you, it's irrelevant. For other players,
great moments.
Yes, if you're in a starting role, now if you are an everyday player, it's different. There's a lot more pressure on you to be productive, right? But for what they want him to do, perhaps he's doing just enough.
And again, I mentioned Mark Sweeney. I bet you Mark Sweeney, if he was in the press box yesterday, I don't know, if Mark was going and traveling with the Cards or what exactly was going on. I wasn't around it this weekend, but I bet you Mark looked at him and was like, yeah, like that's why you go out and get a guy like this, so that you have somebody that can produce something like that a handful of times in a season. Marty, can I just jump around a little bit? Can I ask a couple of questions since I was off doing other stuff?
Oh, were you?
Last weekend.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I had one of the great sports days of all time on Sunday. Kidding? Like every team.
Congratulations. Let's put that. Let me go ahead and.
What, Barcelona beating Real Madrid? Yes.
Yes. You're Knicks.
Beating Real Madrid for La Liga? Yeah, that was amazing.
You're Knicks. Didn't AJ Caswell tell you last week that's the best team in the NBA? And you're like, stop. I don't want to hear it. How do you feel? How do you feel today? Feeling better? You don't want to hear it. It was
a good Sunday, man. I mean, it was a really good Sunday. Castellanos, 2-run shot, Padres walk-off winners. Like, it was a good Sunday across the board. Not going to lie.
I'm going to apologize to you because I made the mistake about texting you about the show or something yesterday when the Knicks were playing. So I do apologize. I need to be more aware of who you are, your sports world. And I'll do my best to never text you during a Knicks game, even though it was a blowout. Okay?
Oh, Marty. I mean, Barcelona, Real Madrid into Knicks sweeping of the Sixers was And then, as soon as the Barca match ends, we watch Castellanos with a bunch of Padre fans there at Novo
nice.
in Otay Mesa. We see Castellanos, and then we watch the Padres walk off win. I'm like, this is the greatest day ever of my sports life. Woke up to Celtic beating Rangers, which is a little further down the list. Marty, I know you would prefer to save Scottish soccer for a different show, but
yes.
What a day. Just an absolutely incredible day. Good point on the road for SDFC on Saturday night, although again, got to get back in the win column. We can talk about that later. So I don't know. And then hitting the road this week, and it's Milwaukee, and then it's Seattle.
Yes.
With one hand on the Vetter Cup, Marty, one hand on the Vetter Cup. Just need one win to secure the Vetter Cup in Seattle later on this week, and then back home a week from today against the LA Dodgers at Petco Park. Yeah.
Which player comes out of their offensive slump that series? Shohei Ohtani or Fernando Tatis? Fernando Tatis.
Mm-hmm. I saw Mookie Betts just came off the injured list today, too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Mookie Betts.
So, yeah, battle for first place in the NL West.
That's something else.
I did look this up just because I looked it up. I want to use it and not just bury it. Okay. Atlanta's on top of the AL East. They have a plus 87 run differential.
How do the Braves do that? How do the Braves do it every single year? Like there's every year there's like a huge injury. It's Acuna one year, then you had the suspension for Jurickson Profar. Really? So what? Yeah. We're good, and they explode.
Yeah, plus 87. The Cubs are plus 47 on top of the NL Central. Mm-hmm. Tampa is plus 20. They're tied with the Yankees, who are plus 73. Cleveland is 21-21, and their run differential is exactly where it should be, -4. That's the record and the it's called the Bill James Pythagorean theorem. Checks out. The A's are -6. They're 21-19, so they're playing a little bit above. But in terms of just, do people think that this is sustainable or how this is happening? How are the Padres doing it? When they have this anemic offense that is bottom third in all of it? I've given you my theory. I don't know if you have any different theories. I think they're just getting some contributions from guys that have come through in big moments for them. And again, their bullpen, even if not as exactly as advertised, is doing enough to keep them in these games, and they get rewarded. I mean, Morejon gets vultured into a win yesterday, but they're doing enough, even though they've had some bit of turbulence so far this year that we can all remember. So anyhow, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty. I don't know how to fix any of it. If I knew how to fix it, I wouldn't be here talking to you. So I don't know how to fix Fernando. I don't know how to get Manny right. Jackson showed some sign this week. I think that's probably good. Xander's been pretty consistent all season long. So, and you're getting it here and there from everybody else.
I'm just thinking, Darren, we had so much conversation this show earlier talking about lineup construction, who the Padres leadoff hitter, and a couple weeks ago when it seemed like it was Ramon Laureano, right? When Craig Stammen says this is going to be the guy. He's no longer the guy. Like I think we're back to that same thing as to who the Padres leadoff hitter should be. Sorry, I got my SH in there. But
okay. We're not on radio.
It's the same thing. It's just, I don't know who it is. Maybe it's Luis Ariz in a couple months.
I don't know either. Fernando had a moment on Friday night, Marty, that were you in the building on Friday?
I know. I fled the building on Friday.
All right. So the Little League Grand Slam that went under his glove and right. Yeah. And, I wasn't, forgive me, I was not paying very close attention here. Did have a broadcast on Saturday, and I was totally in SDFC mode. So, would check in and, took a break, popped in, checked in on social media, just to sort of clear my head.
Yeah.
And saw some discussion about Tatis being booed at Petco Park on Friday night. Again, I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. I didn't see any clips of it. I don't know if you had any exposure to it. And then there was a little bit of back and forth about how could people be booing him? What's the deal? What kind of fans do we have, right? So there was that sort of discourse as well. I don't know if you had any exposure to it or not. Listen, it's unfortunate. This is a 2-time Platinum Glove Award winner, and he is not perfect. He made a mistake. I didn't think it was as egregious as others. People said he was jogging after the ball. I don't know that I exactly saw it that way, but I know others took great offense to what they thought was a lack of effort on Friday night. And again, I don't know how bad the booing was. Didn't hear it, wasn't there, but I guess it sounds like it existed in some capacity.
I don't know if the booing was on him on that play in particular, or just on the Padres being down four runs in a blink of an eye. I didn't think it that way as him just not carrying on that play or giving up on that play. I think he completely misjudged it. And again, Fernando Tatis Jr. is such a spectacular defensive player, Platinum Glove Award winner, that when he makes a mistake, and it's very rare he makes a mistake, it is shocking. And I know there are people that took offense with him not being there for postgame.
Right.
I don't. And, can I tell you this? As much as I'm that person, I want to get those clips, right? And I want to get the footage. And I want to go ahead and talk about it.
Throw somebody under the bus.
That was not
Marty
me.
goes viral.
That was you. That was not me. That was you. Okay, I didn't mention any
I'm
names.
defending the innocent here. I felt bad for the innocent people who got lumped into this.
I no issue with him. Fernando is there. Listen, there are a lot of guys who are not usually at their lockers after something bad happens, right? When you want to talk to them, Fernando's always at his locker. Always. Doesn't always want to talk, but he's always there. If you want to ask him a question, he'll usually accommodate you, right? So he has a bad moment. He bails. It happens. He doesn't do it often. So I have no issue with him not being there once, because normally Fernando is always going to be there, good or bad. So no big deal.
So now you're taking shots at our former colleague Jim Russell,
100%.
who said it was not a good look. I didn't care about that stuff either. I don't. I think it's fine. I think he's, like Marty said, he's always there. He's there too much. He's there too much. Seriously, he's there way too much.
I'm surprised.
I'd recommend you do less post game media. Don't
say that.
If I were advising him, I'd say do less of that. Do less post game stuff.
He's pretty accommodating.
Shirtless, looking, totally depressed. Like, we've seen enough of this. So, as far as the booing goes, listen, it's not my brand of energy. I've always said that. I'm not personally a fan, but I also don't gatekeep, and I'm not going to tell people how to fan. So I think he'll be okay. I think it's all right. I think Padre fans have really gone to the wall for Fernando over the last couple of years. People have really defended him over the last couple of years. There are people, Marty, who will say, wait, no, it wasn't about PEDs. It was about, shoulder surgery and wrist surgery and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And people have really gone out of their way to defend him. Maybe more so than he might have been defended in other places. Yeah. And if people have reached a point where it's like, what's happening here? We keep trying to make excuses for this guy and it ain't clicking. And people want to vent their frustration in real time, whether that's directed at him personally or if it's just the overall what's going on with this team. Again, it's not my brand of energy, but I also would say it's not the most shocking thing. And it probably, we'll probably be okay. I don't think we're in crisis mode here with Fernando and some people that are venting their frustration, because people really have waited a long time to see this guy start resembling Fernando from 2019, 2021. And it hasn't happened. And for whatever reason, we're all have our own theories, but if people are like, we've done everything here. We get trolled on social media time after time by other fan bases about this guy. And, now we're watching this, and this is like, I guess in some way, Marty, the way just modern fandom is, it's almost to be expected that it hasn't happened sooner. But I think it's short-lived. I do think there's way more people that are pro Fernando than anti. I would agree. But I also understand it, dude. Like I do. Like I understand people that have really gone out of their way to defend him over and over and over again. And it's like it doesn't seem like, somebody's like, oh, we need to. Who was it? Darnay? Let's throw Darnay under the bus.
Let's go. Go ahead.
We should all give him a standing ovation. I think Heath Bell said that too on Friar Territory.
Oh, did he? No, someone
you were on the show.
Yeah, but you know me, I check out sometimes. Somebody
throw yourself under the bus. Just throw everybody under the bus on a Monday. So people have been supportive of him, but if people want to vent their frustration because it's like, what is happening with this guy? Like I would say less surprising things have happened in life.
Okay. Darren, you go ahead and take this one. Go ahead and throw him under the bus. I'm not going to do it.
What's that? Who was the perk? Who asked Castellanos if he was going to teach? Well, we've already talked about this.
You have to start, ma'am or sir, go to the beginning of the show.
Yeah. So it was Julian Delgado.
It was not. It was Jake Ariani.
It was that idiot AC.
It was a guy. All I know is there was like 10 reporters. It was
Jim Russell, honestly. No, let's be serious for a second.
So someone either sent me a tweet or our Blue Sky or on Thread saying that we should give Tatis a standing ovation, right? They want to go ahead and do, like, before the game, Thursday or Friday, they want to go ahead and do what they did for Trey Turner with the Phillies. Here's the difference, okay? It's not Philly where you're booing everything. Tatis is the most applauded Padres player on this entire roster, guys. In starting lineups, there's no boos. When he's at bat, he's more cheered than anybody on this Padres team. When he runs out to right field in pregame or whatever, it is a standing ovation. He is getting applauded every single time. So I don't know that cheering him is standing ovation and scheduling something is going to make a difference. That's not the reason. I don't know what the reason is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing about the Phillies is there's irony there because Philly fans are notoriously miserable. So the whole point was, let's get out of character, and instead of booing him, we'll shower him with affection. That's why that worked. And again, I think people have been very patient. I mean this seriously. I think people have been very patient with Tatis here. I know different fan bases, different. Although, wasn't it funny what Josh Hart had to say about the Philadelphia fans? This used to be a sports town, said Josh Hart on his way out after sweeping the Sixers. That was great. So good. And he would know. He played college there, Villanova. This used to be a great sports town. I don't know what's happening around these parts any longer. I think people have been patient, Marty. I do. I think they've been very patient. I think fans have been patient with Fernando Tatis. And if some of those fans decided, okay, I'm very frustrated and I'm going to let it out in a way that other fans often do in other places, I'm certainly not going to go crying about that.
Craig
I'm not going to reprimand. I mean, I think anybody that reprimands fans for that needs to check themselves.
No, you understand the frustration. This is.
Yeah. And I think that this fan base is really giving them the benefit of the doubt in a lot of ways that other fan bases would not. If there is a breaking point and we're close to it, or if we hit it, I get it.
You're going to have some people who might argue for a change of scenery for Tatis, like maybe but if I don't know, maybe it's different. Maybe the pressure in San Diego is different because he is so beloved. Maybe you feel like. Maybe he feels like he's being squeezed in a smaller market. I don't know.
I don't know. But somehow, some way, people want him to succeed. That is the point. People want him to succeed.
Yep.
And he has not been a successful player by the measurements I think that people have and expect from him. So again, it's not my energy. I don't know that I've ever booed anybody in my life.
Really?
I don't think so.
Never. Wow.
Have you?
No, I would like to have booed Doug Mirabelli. If I can go back in time, I would boo Doug Mirabelli.
That's the guy.
That's the
of
guy.
All the players that have played in the history of the Padres. If you can go back, get a time machine, go back and boo somebody, you would boo Doug Mirabelli.
Oh, 100%. He was such an asshole.
Would you have booed Ian Kinsler when he flipped off the crowd?
The blue. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's one for me. I would have booed that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't ask much. I don't ask you to be successful and hit home runs every time, but can you not tell me to go fuck myself? You know what I mean? Like, is it too much to ask that you don't do that? I don't know. I guess it is sometimes. The other thing that caught my eye over the weekend, Marty, since the Padres are on 4 different networks in 4 different days, which wasn't a problem for me.
I don't have Apple.
I get what?
I don't have Apple TV, so I couldn't.
You don't? No. You don't watch MLS? Boy, that hurts my feelings.
Oh wait, I do have Apple. Wait, do I have Apple?
You just have the MLS pass. I don't know.
I do have the pass. I have MLS pass, but that's separate. You can't watch baseball. That's separate.
Who did the game on Friday? Todd Frazier, the Todd father?
No, he was on ESPN. I saw Todd Frazier. Todd Frazier had the telecast. Todd Frazier was part of the ESPN telecast on Thursday for Mason Miller's bobblehead day. And then I saw Dontrell Willis and goodness sakes, come on.
Apparently Heidi Watney was part of this.
Yes, she was there.
And I guess if social media is accurate, and
of course it is.
Apparently she asked something. She had the pregame interview with Fernando and asked him about not having a home run before the game. Like, I don't know if it was live or it was something they recorded during the day. I have no idea. I didn't see it. I wasn't watching. But I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Where I was going with this was Don Orsillo called the game for Fox on Saturday.
Yes.
And I saw a little bit of pushback again in my rare glimpses of social media, Marty, which is where I'm digging deep to find all this content.
You got to get off Threads, man. You got to get off Threads. You got to stop spending your weekend on Threads.
I saw people wondering why Don didn't do the mano Manny when Manny homered on Saturday when he was working for Fox. And people like, what? I thought he was our broadcaster. It's like, no, see, this is what happens when you get treated, by Homer broadcasters. You just expect them to take that with them into their network broadcast. And Don's a pro.
Yeah.
Don's a pro. I think internally he was probably like,
it's a national broadcast. But by the way, speaking of Don,
working with Eric Karros, Patrick Henry.
Patrick Henry High School.
I was working with another Patrick Henry alum and Sal Zizzo on Saturday.
Very good. I love it.
Yeah. Patrick Henry people all over the place. You guys are dominating.
Does he still have his restaurant in
Yeah, family does. Little Italy.
Gotta go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I need money 16. Joe Davis is an example of homerism.
I know. I was like,
you shouldn't be allowed
getting on Don. Like, I mean,
no.
Whether you like him or don't like him, I mean, people getting on Don because he didn't do the mano Manny thing. Like,
by the way,
guys,
of Don,
let's get a grip around here.
If you're Don Orsillo, do you think, because you always think of home run calls, do you think he's already planned the script for Tatis's first home run? And if you're Don, you are happy it doesn't come to national game, right?
Right.
Because you're planning that moment for Fernando's first home run.
So maybe you don't short circuit in real time. I'm not sure. I did feel bad. I read Dennis Lynn today at The Athletic. He said that was the fly out Sunday was the longest fly. It was the longest, the furthest that Tatis had hit a ball. It would have been a homer in 12 other ballparks. So not a no doubter. But it would have been a homer in 12 different ballparks, and he could just, it comes up 2 feet short of Pecco on a Sunday afternoon. Like
395 feet. I thought he had it. Everything about it, it looked like it, sounded like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Can we, for people that missed it, do you want to play the sound? Since again, Marty just, this, I don't know that this is intended for broadcast, but here Marty's like, hey, I see an opportunity that I'm going to get picked up by the aggregators.
What are you talking about? I didn't. That was not me. All right, hang on one second.
I mean, these scrums are not intended for broadcast. I always feel bad when the people like yourself that are asking questions, they're just trying to get a quote for their story, for their evening newscast, and Marty's just going to amplify and blow it out there for the rest of the world. What do you mean
it's not intended for broadcast? If you're bringing a big camera in, that's for broadcast, right? That's for broadcast.
I know, but the line of questioning, every question that I've ever asked is intended for broadcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you ask questions on a show, let's say 60 minutes, you think about your questions because your questions are going to be broadcast. When you're in a media scrum, it's let's get in here and let's get out of here. They want to get out of here. Media wants to get out of here. Hey, I just need a quote on what'd you think of the pitching? You're not sitting there crafting these great questions. You're just let me get what I need. I'm writing a story about whatever. I'm in here for a moment just to get out.
I just need someone to say we're just looking for ways to win a game.
Right.
Just give me
better.
Goodbye.
Deadline.
One game at a time. It's early in the season. All right. Here's
these are in fairness. And again, I don't mean to sound like I'm in full throated defense of Derek Togerson, but let's play it and then we'll talk.
Size, style, bat.
I don't know. I haven't really even looked at the length and weight and stuff yet. I'm assuming usually bats are 33 to 34 inches, 30 and a half to 31 and a half ounces. So probably in there somewhere, but to be honest, I really didn't look.
Are you going to let him hear the end of it that you hit a home run with this bat before he did?
That's rude.
Sorry.
All right. Well, congratulations, Marty. That has become the Padres meme of 2026. That's rude.
That's rude. I thought it was Kemp. Has it replaced Castellanos? Just not given enough. It has. Okay.
Go ahead. Say the word.
No, I can't. My mom watches. My mom.
Yes, I do believe that is the meme. I know that I clipped that and I have tucked that away in my iPhone so that I can use that over and over again throughout 2026. I do appreciate for those that were watching. I don't know how many people picked up on this.
Did it replace yes, no, maybe? I don't know.
It's close.
A lot of memes. A lot going on for the podcast.
Yeah. Good job. Good job. You're giving us the content. There's no doubt.
Thank you.
But you can see Castellanos turns to his left. Marty, can you explain why that's significant?
Because Nick Castellanos' locker mate is Fernando Tatis Jr. Right. Literally right there. If I were to look down, Tatis is right there. And it was a quieter locker room. The music's not as loud.
And was Fernando there?
Everything. Yes. You can hear everything.
And Fernando's sitting there when this question is you just used Fernando's bat, hit a home run. And now it's we're engaging in clubhouse banter, which I think was the motivation there.
Sure. Because he was smiling. When you start that clip, by the way, he was smiling. I think he was pretty loose there.
Maybe a little fun. And then realized I better not. I better put an end to this right now. Because he looks at Tatis. He's like, This could go two different directions.
Direction.
So
I need to borrow that bat again. Maybe I need to borrow that bat again.
Right. I mean, you got to love it because this is sort of like beer league softball where the guy's like, I don't know. I just picked up a bat. I mean, is it the big thumper? Which one is it? I just went and grabbed something and went yakety.
Like,
didn't even think too much about it.
Who cares how many ounces?
Yeah. I mean, that would never be Tony Gwynn.
No.
Tony Gwynn would pick up a bat and be like, yo, this is like a 1,000th of an ounce off. I'm not using this piece of crap. You know, get me a real bat. I can't be swinging with this. You kidding me? I mean, I'm Tony Gwynn. Whereas Castellanos is like, whatever. I don't know. Just took a swing with it. But he does look over at Tatis and he's like, there's this moment where it's like, record scratch. And then that's rude. What was that show, Marty, with the Olsen twins? Wasn't that
Full
their
House.
catchphrase?
No, how rude.
Real rude.
How rude. No, how rude.
How rude? Yeah. All right. Well, whatever. Maybe Nick Castellanos was a fan of that show growing up.
Did you watch Full House?
Not really.
Did you watch the reboot?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
They came back together, except without Becky because she was in jail.
I did see Bob Saget's stand-up where he.
You told me he has the filthiest mouth ever, which I cannot believe.
Well, he's dead also.
Well,
but
I know.
He it's okay. I mean, he is. But he does a stand-up where I don't recommend it. I just want to be clear on that because this is a world I think people still get canceled. I don't know. Okay. But I mean, it is something else. I would just say that. And he goes into great detail about working on the set of Full House throughout his career. So anyway, not sure how we got onto that. I don't know. I don't really have an issue. I mean, people got a bit butthurt about this line of questioning. I think it was intended to be a little playful and, maybe a record scratch and Castellanos, maybe not the exact right guy, but it's fine, everybody. I think we'll live. It's okay. I don't think anybody needs to lose a credential. I don't think anybody.
No.
It wasn't intended for it. Just, Marty decided to throw people under the bus.
And so some of the comments, and thanks to all of you guys for being interactive on today's show. Like, hey, you should have asked that question differently. How do you ask that question differently? I mean, what Derek got from that question was about him using the bat. Like, because, he was asking about looking into the dugout. Were you looking in the dugout because you borrowed that bat and you're like, hey, look at Fernando, I hit a home run. He's like, no, I looked in the dugout because I just hit a home run. I wasn't looking at Tatis or anything. How do you ask that question? I mean, do you ignore it? It's the giant elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't hit a home run.
And if you have like an ounce of a sense of humor, it's funny. I mean, it is, that he hit a home run with Tatis's bat. Like, he could have picked anybody else's bat. Right? I mean, it is. And it's not, but I think for a moment, though, I mean, I'm looking at this, that Castellanos doesn't play. And I know that is his reputation.
Yeah.
But I think for a second it was.
Whoops.
Hamster started going real quick on that wheel. He's like, I better not. He's
a funny guy. He's a really
even that was
interesting person to talk to.
I think even that his response was funny. And trust me, you're going to see a lot more of that around social media.
Oh, really?
That's rude.
I can't believe you're throwing him under the bus.
Who?
You know who?
Yeah, look, I got it right here.
That's rude. That's rude. That's rude.
I already clipped it.
God. Okay, thanks, Darren.
All right. Good job, even though it came at the expense of one of your colleagues.
Oh boy, Casty gives great responses to good questions.
Yeah, it's an interesting story that
he actually told me. I actually asked him after that, the other viral one where he interviewed Tatis.
Uno palabra y nada más.
Yeah, on my behalf. I asked him later on, why he gives such short-clipped answers. And he was pretty much saying it's because of his relationship with the media in Philly. And if you just say yes or no in response to your question, there's no way for anyone to go ahead and misquote you or take what you said.
Uh-oh. Who's texting you?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. Let's see. Interesting. Anyways.
Uh-oh. You in trouble?
No, never in trouble. Darren is a meme. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, live long enough.
All right.
You end up becoming a meme. So all right, Padres will be in Milwaukee then for 3, and then Seattle. So
yeah, Milwaukee. But okay. Listen to me. The tag on my the banner has said, "Do you believe in the Padres?" 24-16. Do you believe in the Padres, Darren, or is this the least convincing 24-16 start to a team in the history of Major League Baseball?
Well, I'd have to go back and research all that, Marty. I'm kidding.
Of the Padres teams that we have covered, and we've covered many.
I think they have their flaws, and their flaws are like so outstanding that it plants this seed in people's minds, because Manny, the whole theory going into the season was they're only going to go as far as these stars could take them. And this is, that's what everybody said. It's everybody's analysis. And now here they are, they're sitting on top of the NL West. And is that sustainable over 162? I suspect probably not. But I think it just flies in the face of what all of the preseason analysis was, Marty. So I think I understand why it's said over and over again about this not being so convincing. But, the fact that they've banked all these wins early on, I think matters.
Yep.
Will it matter in the final analysis? Nobody can predict these things. So
second easy at the strengths of schedule in Major League Baseball to this part. And I really think that this is like a defining stretch. This is a tough stretch for them ahead. Milwaukee, never easy again. They swept the Yankees. Then Seattle, never easy place to play. And then 3 with the Dodgers, who I think just got Blake Snell back. That team is not really clicking. You mentioned Mookie Betts is now back, so maybe they'll be more full strength. But yeah, and then the Phillies after that. Phillies are playing a lot better under Donnie Baseball. So we'll see.
Not a real sports town there. So
no.
Used to be a sports town. I guess, Marty, like all of it, it's just going to come down to how they perform against the Dodgers on Monday. Yeah. I mean, why even bother talking about the rest of this week?
Okay.
Right? I mean, it always just comes down to the measuring stick of the Dodgers.
It is.
Right? I mean, it's just all it comes down to. Whether you win or lose, like it's just all going to come down to how people feel coming out of each inning, out of each game, and out of that series next Wednesday. It's probably all that matters.
Yeah. So maybe Tatis is saving the power for that series.
5 homers.
Wouldn't that be just?
No, he should use Nick Castellanos' bat.
See, wouldn't
that be funny?
I like it. On to something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Did you watch the Netflix comedy roast of Kevin Hart?
No. Was it good? Was it worth it?
I'm not a Kevin Hart fan.
He was great though. emceeing the Tom Brady roast. He was great.
Okay.
No? Was he not? Was Brady probably uncomfortable, cringe?
Not sure.
I think he probably was.
There were some moments. Again, roasts aren't for everybody. Bob Saget, not for everybody. So if you like that sort of stuff, there's a lot of profanity. If you like hearing comedians with new and creative ways of using profanity, then it's for you.
Okay.
And saying things that are like so shocking.
Should I watch it? I shouldn't watch it?
I don't know. I kind of, after about an hour of it, I gave up.
You can get invested for an hour? I would be like 10 minutes and then I give up if it's not very good. An hour?
Unfortunately, the problem with the roast of Kevin Hart is there's just a lot of Kevin Hart.
It's the Kevin Hart roast.
Exactly. So I got some Kevin Hart fatigue out of it. Anyway.
Darren, what else is new with you? You have a game Wednesday, right?
We have a game Wednesday. Yep. 3 games to go before the World Cup break. Wow. So Wednesday against Austin, Saturday FC Cincinnati, and 2 Saturdays from now against Vancouver Whitecaps. I would say, Marty, real opportunity to set a tone for SDFC heading into the World Cup break, especially at home. I would say bare minimum, if you want to make a case that this is a legit playoff caliber team, bare minimum 6, probably 7. Some might even argue 9 points over the next 3. Played much better against Seattle. Still ended up with a draw, gave up a late equalizer. Seattle just has things that SDFC doesn't. And, they have like an academy where they can just pull players, and, they have players that they've been grooming for Major League Soccer opportunities, and they're not afraid to use them, and they can put their leading scorer from 2025 on the bench and bring him off late and have him score the equalizer. These are luxuries that an expansion team, even into season number 2, still an expansion team doesn't quite have. So played much better, did play much better. Marcus Ingvartsen now 8 goals. 8 goals, 7 of them in open play. I know everybody's like, oh no, what's happening? It's only Anders. It's Anders Dreyer. It's only Anders. No. Here's a little bit of research, Marty, for you and anybody who's curious about such things. Anders Dreyer and Marcus Ingvartson have combined for 20 combined goal contributions. Wow. That is the highest number for any tandem anywhere in Major League Soccer. Higher than Messi and Segovia, higher than Peter Musa and whoever the, drawing a blank on the second best player there for FC Dallas. So that is the highest amongst any duo in Major League Soccer. 20 combined goal contributions and 8 goals for Marcus Ingvartson. I would just, I try to avoid the Chucky Lozano conversation at this point, but I would just quickly point out that Chucky had 9 during the regular season last year. 7 in open play, 2 from the spot. Good year, 11 assists, no doubt. But in terms of what has actually been ailing this club, depth, mistakes, giving up late goals. So, they're doing okay on the front side of it. And I think they've stabilized some other stuff. Now they just got to play a complete 90. Got a little bit of bad luck over the weekend. But, man, I'm looking at this roster, Marty, and I'll just do this quick because I know the Seattle Sounders roster probably isn't at your fingertips. But what a luxury when you have players like Paul Arriola, who you don't even use in the game, when you have players like Hassani Dotson, who's a really good midfielder, who you don't even use in the game, when you have your leading scorer from 2025, who you can bring in as a substitute, who had 14 goals last year, and you can bring him into the game. You don't have to start him and say, hey, give me like 85 minutes. They have 10 players through their academy on their roster, which is really impressive. And that's the team that SDFC hopes to be someday. But obviously there's no academy here. So you don't have these players. You don't have this pool. You don't have a 19-year-old midfielder like this Snyder Brunel to play in the middle of your pitch. So, you're up against it in terms of what you're facing week in, week out, especially against some of the better teams. And yet there they were, Marty, just a couple of minutes away from picking up 3 points in a place that Seattle hasn't lost in over a year. So I think it's an isolated, good point, really good point. I think it's a really good point, but it's a good draw. But I also understand this is now 10 without a win, and that is obviously something that you're desperate to snap. It's got to be Wednesday. You got to get it going here before the World Cup break. So, I think 6, maybe 7 out of 9 points over the next 3 games, and then you're into the World Cup break. Might determine what it is that you're thinking. Are you just going to play some younger players? Is it going to be a developmental? What is your goal here? What is your ambition when you go out there in the transfer window and add another designated player? I mean, right now this is a roster, frankly, that is 1 DP, 1 under 22 initiative player. So I mean, the Seattle game really put a bright spotlight on. Sometimes you go into these and you are, you're outmatched. Like you're just roster wise. And again, it's not due to it's not negligence. It's just circumstance. They've had a lot of time. Sounders have been in MLS since 2009. They've been building this academy for a really, really long time. And they're starting to see the fruits of that labor. So felt pretty good about it overall. And I do think it'll be good on Wednesday night. So I think we're going in the right direction. I really do believe that. I still think it's going to be a playoff team, but the next 3 right before the World Cup break are pretty important. So hopefully we'll see everybody out there on Wednesday night, and then Saturday against FC Cincinnati, and then against Vancouver Whitecaps, and that'll be it heading into the World Cup break.
Saturday, 2 at home, Wednesday and Saturday.
All 3, Wednesday, Saturday, and then next Saturday. Yep.
Let me hit you up with this Saturday.
Okay.
What time is the match?
On Saturday?
Yeah,
probably 7:30. Okay. I think.
We have to do that this Saturday. That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad.
August is good luck charm. He's a good luck charm. By the way, we're talking about how redundant it's gotten. Like you're out of creative ways to ask like Manny and Fernando about the offense. How has it been with Mikey Varas asking him about SDFC, like finding a way?
I mean, I think it's good.
I know the situation is different. So
yeah, I mean, I think 10 without a win is like, you start just saying like, hey, what are you doing to change it? Like, is there anything that you can do? Is there anything you feel like that's not being done? But, I mean, I do. I know that there's lots of people who look at it, objectively or through data, and, they see certain things, that the whole CONCACAF Champions Cup thing just really knocked the club off its axis for a while. And then it just sort of started the spiral of rotation and red cards and injury, and certain guys just have not gotten it going. Lewis Morgan has not gotten it going. He missed another game this past weekend. I don't know that he's been 100% fully fit, maybe, but for a couple of games, he had a couple of assists. So I mean, it's not happening. I'm just telling you. I see it up on the screen there. The get tricky in there. Like it's not even really the problem. Unless you're thinking that the problem is.
Has there been a chant at games?
Not really. I think that was a little bit overblown. I was at the stadium. I didn't hear it in real time, but somebody, maybe a couple dozen fans or so. And again, I just talked about fans. They can say what they want. Like, it's like they pay to go. Like, I think people appreciate the passion. And I just am telling you, it's just, it's not going to happen. Like, it's just. But, it still lingers around here. And with 3 games to go, I think he's sort of dug in on his side and SDFC's dug in on its side. And hopefully there's resolution at some point over the summer. I mean, I think the guys should be playing somewhere, but it ain't going to be here because, it's not just a coach. It'd be coach, sporting director, players. I mean, heck, even Krasovich, who writes about this stuff like the same thing over and over and over again. Even Krasovich wrote about it recently. He's like, yeah, like you'd have to change a lot of things, in order to have him come back in. And I don't think the player's amenable to it. And I don't think the club is amenable to it at this point. So it just, it's sad. It makes me sad that this guy's not playing. It makes me sad that he's not going to represent his home country, Marty, in the World Cup, which is again 30 days away. Like he should be, and that bums you out. But I think he does have the right to turn down a trade though. That's the other part of it too. If it was as simple as trading him, I think they probably could have found a partner, but takes 2. You gotta have everybody at the table. That's one of the benefits or one of the perks that you gave him to come here. So yeah, like I said, I don't like talking about it because I know I get painted as a company man, and I would probably paint me as a company man, Marty, if I were on the other side listening to this, because I did for 20 years. I sat in radio, and when a team announcer or a team broadcaster would say something, I'd be like, well, what do you expect that person to say? He works for the team. So I try to stay out of it, but I do think, they never have told me what to say. Pretty much trust me to, I give my honest opinion here. Yeah, I mean, it's just not going to happen, but I do think they're playing better. I do think they're playing a lot better, but like Wednesday, catch in Austin, really, really short week. They played yesterday. So I think, getting on a little bit of a roll going in and like relieving some of that pressure going into the World Cup break is essential over the next 3 games. So I'm looking
forward later on in a different show to have more of a conversation about the World Cup and ticket prices and all the angst and the biggest challenges that lie ahead. I'm not sure too many of the articles have been positive when it comes to the ticket prices.
Nope.
But we'll see. Hey, Darren, perhaps both the drought for Tatis and SDFC can end on Wednesday. Wouldn't that be something after weeks and weeks of conversation? Before we wrap, I do want to go ahead and make sure that we give all the QR codes. If you want to go ahead and subscribe to the excellent Section 1904 podcast, and Darren does a great job of making it available in written form, Apple and Spotify. I'm having issues. I have no idea why I cannot link the YouTube podcast RSS feed, but I'm trying to do that. Right there, the purple, that's the QR code for the Section 1904 podcast. You can also subscribe to our other joint show. That would be Friar Territory. That's the one on the right-hand side. That is Friar Territory. We have some fun shows coming up this week. I am not going to go ahead and spoil the guests because I am paranoid, but we'll have some fun stuff this week. But QR code on the left, the purple is for D. Smith, the Section 1904 podcast. Friar Territory, we had a recent episode with Ty France last Friday that you can catch up on. So there you go. Those are both of the QR codes that you
Ty France, who got caught stealing this past weekend. I said he had already equaled a career high for stolen bases.
Way to jinx him. Way to jinx him, Darren. Thanks a lot.
Well, I mean, he still has, but he was going for that second. He was looking at, he has a career high in triples hit with 2.
Maybe he was emboldened by your conversation, telling him about the speed factor, and he was crediting Ryan Goins for his success.
Yeah.
Thanks, Darren.
No problem.
Just wow.
Got it.
Just yeah.
Okay. Right. Anybody else you want to toss under the bus before we wrap it up?
Okay.
I want a burrito bet from Darn Night Trip, by the way.
How so?
Big Sixers.
Oh,
I should really get 2 after a sweep, shouldn't I?
Yes. What kind of burrito?
You have to figure that out.
You gotta put rice in it.
Brothers in North Park.
Rice and beans in it.
We'll see. Depends on the time of day. Are people pissed? Are people texting you? Are they angry?
No one's angry. I wouldn't even be angry.
Are they?
I did not mention anyone's name. I didn't tag anybody. I didn't make me affiliate. It's a scrum. It's a public scrum.
I know. People heard it. People know who it is.
Do they?
Well, they do now.
Thanks, Darren.
I mean, you didn't have to confirm it.
I didn't.
I think everybody kind of figures out who's who around here. It was fine. It was playful. It was
Julian,
intended to be playful.
It was Julian. It was Julian Delgadio. So make sure you at him.
Yeah.
On all the social channels.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he was in there trying to, create problems.
I was not expecting an hour-long show on Nick Castellanos and the local media, but here we are. That was fun.
No, I think he's, I think that was just a real interesting moment for him in his career, like in his new career in this, these later chapters of Nick Castellanos. Like, it's a big moment for him. Hopefully it continues.
Yeah, look at that side eye.
Yeah, when he's looking over Tatis.
Yeah. Ooh, I like the suggestion from the giant $33 burrito from El Papas Fritas. What's in that thing?
$33.
Wow, it'll be
for a burrito.
You should get that one. Tell Darnay that's the burrito that you want. Then split it with me.
Fritas. Yeah. Okay. I'm unaware of this giant $33 burrito. Is that like a ballpark burrito?
I'm gonna look it up. Surf and turf. I would agree.
Surf and turf.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, California burrito from Don Pancho's down here in Imperial Beach is really good too.
El Papas. I'm gonna look that up. I'll have a report. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Again, like I also think though it's just important to explain to everybody that like not everything that's happening in these media scrums is intended for broadcast. So like I don't think it needs to be approached that way. So like that's why I'm saying like lighten up on the criticism stuff. It was just kind of like an attempted humor, I think. But whatever.
Sometimes after a win, like you have that moment because you're trying to create rapport, especially if it's someone that you don't know as well, and we don't know Nick that well. Right. I mean, we're getting bits and we're getting more and more the personality, which I actually enjoy. Funny dude. You know who's a really funny guy? Walker Buehler.
Pitched really well.
He's interesting. Yeah, he did.
Pitched really well. Grade. I mean, Lucas Giolito's coming back this week, Marty, and I think we're.
I think Buehler's spot in this rotation, and he's made his case. It's his. He's been very good. He's getting better every single outing, right? Getting some innings. Waldron will be interesting. I know, AC wrote about the idea of a 6-man rotation, but they have some interesting options. And who knows what Giolito looks like when he gets to San Diego, when he gets to actually Seattle. So we'll see.
Right. And who knows what it's going to look like third time through for Griffin Canning, too.
Yeah.
Because as good as it was the first time, it didn't look so good the second time. Recorded in the third. Do you get it for free or something if you eat the whole thing? I used to work at a restaurant where if you ate this giant, 3-pound hamburger, you got it for free. Like as if that was worth it. Disgusting.
Okay. I think you should do this. And then we'll have Darnay on the show and you can eat the burrito while interviewing Darnay. That's your ultimate victory lap, your victory taunt. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I look forward to the burrito. There's no doubt about that. But I don't want to be prematurely celebrating
I'm really hungry.
Just because the Knicks are back to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they ended up last year and they fired their coach. So
Mike Brown. USD. Yeah.
Just like Heidi Watney, who we talked about earlier. USD.
Oh, boy. All right. Is there anything else? I'm really hungry.
I got plenty more. I mean, I still
keep going. I'm going to get my mini Triscuit. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm good. I don't want to get Marty in any more trouble with her legacy media friends up there in the press box, who she's always so worried about.
I'm not worried. Trust me. I am not worried. Taco Fiend. What is this? One more. Taco recommendation. Taco Fiend gave it his stamp of approval. I'm going to go check this out.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up. It's the El Papas Fritas $33 burrito, and you have options, Darren, so you can design it how you want.
I don't know. Sounds like something a younger version of myself would have done. But now the sleeker, slender version, I'm not so sure. I don't know. Sounds like it's for multiple people, so I'm not so sure about that. Yeah. Hey, my wife just made it back from New Zealand. All right. Good for her.
Wow. Well, then, all right. I guess you got to go. Or
well, she's in LA. But...
Oh. All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. Stay tuned. Friar Territory coming up at some point.
And more Marty time this week. I think we'll have AJ Caswell Wednesday from Milwaukee. It's been kind of a crazy week. All right, guys. Thank you so much to all of you for watching and your comments. We appreciate it. And the burrito recommendations, which always is the most important thing. I am Marty Caswell. That is Darren Smith Show. We're brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Have a wonderful Monday. We will talk to you tomorrow.
I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. Yeah, it was a long road trip for us. We're in altitude for a really long time. But I don't really think it affected us. I don't know. Yes, no, maybe, who knows? But I think we had good at bats. I think we just couldn't pick up those big hits that we needed, that we've been doing for the last month, and we just couldn't get that big hit. So I think that was the only big difference.